Hello guys, it's me MP, back with another video. This time, it's a recently hotly debated topic. It's about how powerful GXK Kong is with his Beast Glove. There was a very blatant statement that states the Beast Glove gave him a 2x amp, while the other statement that is heavily taken out of context states it gave him a 10x amp. I have seen many people arguing about this topic, so I've decided to state how huge the amp actually is. I don't think there's much to be said, so let's just get started, people. As we all know, back when the promotional materials for Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire came out, there was a statement for the Beast Glove being a 2x multiplier compared to his GXK base self. However, it is worth noting that this statement was made 2 years ago, and since then we have gotten a new statement from a very new guidebook called the Monarch Files. And it states that the Beast Glove gives Kong a 10x multiplier. Many people have been conflicted on which is more accurate, especially considering the 10x amp sounds absurd at first. Some people tried arguing it downscales base Kong, while others have tried arguing it upscales his opponents. These are the two main opinions, either downscales Kong or upscales his opponents. So I thought of addressing this topic and giving my opinion on it, because while it's different to both, it's somewhat closer to the latter. It may shock you, but the 10x scan is actually often taken out of context. So we will be analyzing the statement for the 10x multiplier first, because it has been heavily taken out of context. It never states his entire physical strength was amped by 10 times whatsoever. It only stated his punches in particular were amplified by 10 times, not his overall strength. And not only that, but if you actually pay proper attention, this isn't referring to his punches in general, but rather his charge punches. How do we know this? Because the same statement for a 10x multiplier was referring to the magnetic plates in his gauntlet. These are the same plates that we see move whenever he is charging his punches up. So this already proves it's referring specifically to his charged punch, not his overall body. This means that the charge punch of Beast Glove Kong is 10 times the base punch of base GXK Kong, but that does not mean he is 10 times in all stats. Also, the reason why it would only apply to his charge punches is because they never mentioned anything about his physical strength and specifically stated the amp to be for his charge punches. This already proves the statement only applies to his charge punches, not his overall stats. So, while yes, 10x is indeed official, it's only specific to his charge punches, and there is no official multiplier stated in the guide, meaning we cannot use it to scale his physicals. Also, before you say if his striking strength was greater than his physicals, he would hurt himself, this isn't exactly true. The Beast Glove can simply be more durable than Kong himself, and that would not be inconsistent since the Beast Glove is shown to tank attacks that would one-shot or at worst severely injure Kong himself. So it's not a stretch to assume the glove amplifies his strength too, not just the drug it gave. The Beast Glove gives him those amplified punches, while the drug itself buffed all of his stats but never gave him a charged punch. So basically, the Beast Glove is not a 10x multiplier for his overall stats, but rather only for his punches, and that only applies to the charge punches. By the way, before you say 10x with the charge punch is too high because it didn't one-shot Scar King, what the fuck are you talking about? Even if it didn't one-shot Scar, he clearly doesn't scale to the charge punch, since, while it didn't knock him out for long, it still would have caused severe internal damage, and he lost a tooth and spat out blood too. This means Scar would still be 2.5 to 3.3, 3 times below the charge punch's AP, because it would have taken 3 punches to actually kill him. Maybe even 3 punches and a half punch, since a single charge punch already made spit out blood and lose a tooth. And this upscales Scar's durability, Either cope or shut up if you can't accept a charge punch that strong. Also, did you know having Beast Glove Kong being 2 times base GXK Kong physically and 10 times base GXK Kong in striking strength can upscale Godzilla's durability? Can explain. It's because it would have taken 12 punches from a striking strength 1.2, 5 times his own. Beast Glove Kong's striking strength is 5 times his physicals, and evolved is 4 times Beast Glove Kong in physicals. This can mean it would take 15 times his own striking strength to knock him out. So when Godzilla upscale? And yes, there was actually supposed to be electricity in Kong's punches, but there was some problem with the CGI. So, now that we concluded the Beast Glove's amp only applies to his charged punches, we will now go over the statement saying his amp is 2 times his base form in overall stats. Now we are moving on to the statement for the 2 times multiplier. It states every single stat he had is double his base stats. He is 2 times stronger, 2 times faster, and 2 times more durable than ever before. This would actually be very consistent with his feats. When he didn't have the Beast Glove, he needed to use both of his arms to block Shimo's Frostbite Blast. But when he got the Beast Glove, he used only one arm to block it. This is exactly what happens with a 2 times multiplier, going from needing 2 arms to block a beam to needing just 1 arm to need it. For more consistency, Kong went from getting blitzed by Scar to being only slightly slower but relative to him in speed. His non-charge punches can hurt Scar just like his base punches, but they don't do it to the same degree as the charge punches. So this still supports the non-charge punches being 2 times the base punches. His overall performance has stayed somewhat similar, which makes 2 times the most consistent multiplier. This would disprove the idea of base Kong getting downscaled because his physical performance is still similar. Scar still shows slight relativity in strength against Beast Glove Kong and base Kong. He doesn't have direct relativity to either, but he has decent relativity to base Kong, and a very, 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 very slight relativity to BG Kong, though BG Kong can overpower him with 1 arm, which should equate to a 4 to 5 times difference in power. A 4 to 5 times difference is enough to completely dominate your opponent, but have your opponent still show the slightest relativity in the Monsterverse? Because that's exactly what we saw, where Shimo Low mid-diff evolved Godzilla, while being more than 4 times stronger. Scar would be about 2 to 2.5 times weaker than base Kong. So, basically, if we talk about physical stats, the 2 times multiplier statement for Beast Glove Kong is still valid, because the 10 times multiplier statement is only about his charge punches, and the same statement never gave any for his physicals. So the 2 times statement is all we have to work with. If the Beast Glove itself was a complete 10 times multiplier, then they would have at least said it. But they specified that his magnetic plates amp his punch by 10 times compared to his base punch, and we should take into account the Beast Glove's non-charge punch is 2 times his base punch. So compared to the Beast Glove punch, it's a 5 times multiplier, and compared to the base punch, it's a 10 times multiplier. This would be consistent because Kong's punch when charged does noticeably more damage than his physical attacks, which makes his striking strength being superior to his overall physical strength more consistent. So the Beast Glove isn't a 10 times or 2 times multiplier, but rather it's both. His physical strength is still amplified by 2 times, since his feats show his physical strength hasn't changed too much. And as the scan says, it should backscale to his durability, AP, and speed, because nothing contradicts it. And when he charges his Beast Glove, it gains a 10 times amp compared to his barehanded punch, which would equate to a 5 times amp compared to his non-charged punch. Therefore, overall speaking, he is still 2 times stronger than his base self physically, but when he charges up his punch, that brings him to about 10 times stronger than his base self. So, base Kong never got downscaled since he is still shown somewhat relative in physicals to his Beast Glove self, but rather his striking strength with the Beast Glove is now even bigger when amped. And his charge punch doing more damage than his physicals and non-charge punch is very consistent as well. So Kong with the Beast Glove is both a 2x and 10x multiplier. He is 2x stronger than his base self in terms of physical strength, attack potency, and durability. But when he charges up his punch, that gets the punch to be about 10x stronger than his base punch. 2x for his physical stats is not only the only officially number, but also very consistent with his feats. And 10x was clearly in context to his charge punches, since it was talking about magnetic plates. And seeing how the charge punch was compared to his base punch, that would make his charge punch 5x stronger than his base punch. Once again, not inconsistent, because the charged punch from the Beast Glove knocked Scar's tooth out and made him spit out blood, while the non-charge punch stunned him, which shows that there clearly is a huge difference between the charge punch and non-charge punch. It doesn't downscale Base Kong, nor does it upscale his opponents, but it is closer to the latter even if both are mostly wrong. So, as it stands, he is 2x stronger than his base self physically, and whenever he charges the punch, this gets him to strike 10x harder than his base self. Anyways, that will wrap up the video. I will admit this was somewhat short, but I feel like I pretty much addressed what needed to be addressed. This topic is surely going to start a new conflict between Kong reppers and down players, because it relies on either downscaling Base Kong, upscaling his opponents, or a mix of both. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good day, people.
Oye tus plegarias y manda al gran escuadrón. Se coma ese señor, se coma ese señor, se coma tu familia, que muere con dolor. Se come un vídeo beta con euroconector, se come un vegano que